this okay, or is this too loud, or?
Good. You're good.
Alright.
Awesome.
So yeah, basically what Jackie said, like I'm super stoked to be here, and basically how I want to kind of set this up is I'll jam a little bit about myself, because obviously a bunch of you guys don't know who I am, so try to get a little bit of context and get to know who I am. And then from there, if you guys have any questions, I want to talk a little bit about the main things that helped me throughout my short life, I guess, that I've already had so far. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at the end, just like save them, and then we'll get to them. I want to do a lot of Q&A at the end of this, so you can ask literally anything. I was saying earlier, like it takes a lot to offend me, so that was a moment where it's like, shit, we have no place to live. We don't have anywhere to stay right now. We don't have enough money to put a damage deposit down on a place. So what do? Go to try and get a job. I mean, some of you guys might have had to do that earlier. I don't know your situations, but I had to do that just after I turned 16, basically. So when I was 16, we came back, and was it what I wanted to do? Yeah, I kind of wanted to get a job, but at the same time, I didn't know what was expected. So for me, like, funny story actually looking back to it is, I didn't know what the process of going to apply for a job was. I thought you just like walk in and you're like, hey, hire me. So my mom told me, no, you need like a resume. So I'm like, what's a resume? And she says, well, you know, you put it together and it tells like your past experience and everything. So I'm like, okay, well, do you have an old one? It's like, yeah, I do. So I'm like, okay. So I just like kind of filled in my name in her resume and like filled in what I thought was experience, even though I had no work experience. And then confidently just walked up to Nature's Fair. Was the first place I worked. I walked up to Nature's Fair and I just handed them the resume and I was like, hey, I'm ready to work whenever, kind of thing. And I thought it was as simple as, okay, you're hired, you can start tomorrow, kind of thing. I didn't know that you had to like go up and follow up and everything like that. So I was very persistent. To this day, I'm almost positive the only reason they hired me was so that I would stop coming back and asking if I was going to be hired. So I ended up being like pretty good. I worked there for 3 years, but in that time, like I do remember finding myself struggling, like, why me kind of thing. I mean, during this time, we're trying to put aside as much money as we possibly can so we can find our own place. In the meantime, we're basically homeless. We're couch surfing from friends to friends to friends until we can maybe find something more concrete, but rental market was really slim. It was very tough to find a place to stay. So yeah, we were just couch surfing, had like 5 or 7 bags with all of our belongings in it. That's all I had to my name after that. So, I mean, in an instant it changed. And I just remember, yeah, like moments where I would just like sit there, like be by myself and think, why me? Like, why did this have to happen to me? I mean, I had it so good, it was going so well. Why does it have to be this hard? I mean, and it's not easy. When I'm 16, I get so stoked about a job, the paycheck comes in, it's like, you know, you're stoked, you're like, oh, 900, $1,000, this is so great. And you start paying for stuff. Okay, cell phone comes out, car insurance comes out, gas comes out. By the time you're done, you're not left with anything. Or you're in the negative, even worse. So it wasn't easy to see that happen, and I could just see like both my mom and I were working our asses off, and we were just trying to like make ends meet day to day. We finally did find a place to stay I think it would be about 6 months later now, 6 or 7 months later, so we were basically just couch surfing for about 6 or 7 months. We finally found a place to stay. But throughout this time, because obviously feeling why me, because I have to work and I don't feel like I'm getting time to myself, I came back, I got mixed up with my friends again, I got to hang out with my friends, and when you're 16, I start going through the partying phase. Start going to house parties, hanging out with my friends, drinking, smoking weed, chilling out, having a good time. And the friends that I was with, and now I'll talk a little bit more about kind of what they say about you're a product of the top 5 people you hang out with. Sounds pretty like cliche, but it's totally the truth. So the guys I was hanging out with, 1 or 2 of them started to shoplift a few things. Pack of gum here, a little e-cig there, whatever, from Shoppers or whatever. Some condoms, pack of gum, whatever, like little bits here and there, whatever it was. Just enough, but it was getting bigger and bigger every time. And yeah, it was just one night I was partying, we were smoking weed by a car up by the peanut pool or whatever, and we finished basically almost all the weed. They put in the little bit that was left. They're like, oh, store it in David's bag, that's okay. What I should also tell you is I had about 5 grams of mushrooms on me at all times for some reason. I don't know why, it was just always in my bag.
You gotta be ready to go.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, I always had them there, and there was a little aluminum tin with like little like weed crumbs and roaches and whatever crap else was there. So that was in my bag, and they had some cigars as well that they put in my bag. And anyway, so it's about 1:30 at this point, and really close to the place where I was staying at this time, one of the friends' house that I was staying at. So I was like, all right guys, like, can you drop me off home? They were on Pottery Road, which, as you guys know or might know, is close to the Peanut Bowl. I was like, can you guys drop me off home? They're like, no, we're gonna drop off this guy first, who lives by Happy Day store, which is out on Mission Hill. And at that point, I just remember thinking, I'm like, oh, should I walk or should I get in the car? I'll just get in the car, whatever. You know, enjoy the last few minutes of the night. Boy, was that a mistake. I should also mention that the driver had his N. There were 5 of us in a white, sketchy Buick with red velvet seats. 1970s Buick Century. Driving in the middle of the night, 1:30 in the morning, barely any cars. Suddenly we get close to Happy Day store and lights go on behind us. Everyone in the car shits their pants. Especially the driver who's got his head. And yeah, get pulled over. He opens the window, and guaranteed you can smell the weed immediately as soon as you open the window. You can see his face like kind of change. He asks us to open up the back window. Now, I should also mention that before we went out all the time, I was super confident because I had read and studied like stuff about how to deal with cops. You say like, I don't consent to searches and shit like that. So I was all prepared, and I was telling my friends like, oh, I'm super prepared if we ever get pulled over. Yeah, the moment it actually happens, all that's, for some reason, just falls out of your head. Because as soon as the cop said, hey, what's in the bag? I was like, oh, let me show you. So, yeah, I opened up the bag, and I thought I was being really clever. I had a shirt in my bag, and I put it in I moved it to the back pocket so I could show what was underneath the t-shirt. Moved it, meaning I was hiding the back pocket so that he wouldn't ask me to go in there. And he saw it right away. He's like, what are you trying to hide with that t-shirt? Like, oh, shit, here we go. So we pull out, apparently they put cigars in my bag, so they pull out the cigars, and he starts looking in the bag, and he's like, opens the door, he's like, you're under arrest for possession of marijuana. And I was thinking in my mind, like, weirdly enough, like, that wasn't the point where I was super scared yet, because I was like, wait a second, there's only cigars in that bag. You haven't found the weed yet, so I can't be under arrest. I was like, there is weed, but you haven't found it yet. Anyway, so he pulled me out of the car, hands on the dashboard. He was searching me, making sure he got everything out. Then he found the weed, then he found the mushrooms. And yeah, I just remember thinking, like, all the stuff that going through my mind then is like, wow, my life is over. I mean, criminal record, I'm not gonna be able to go anywhere. What if Nature's Fair hears about this and I get fired? Like, I didn't know what to think at this point. Super, super scared. So another squad car pulls up. Now the 2 cops are there. Another squad car pulls up. It's the supervisor. Supervisor pulls all my friends to the side and just starts talking to them. And these cops are, you know, they're kind of like messing with me at this point. They're like asking me to like plead for why they shouldn't arrest me. And one of the cops even goes as far as saying like, if you do, he said, you know how bad smoking weed is for your lungs? And you know, he's like, do you play sports? I was like, yeah, I play soccer. And he's like, you know how bad smoking weed is for your lungs? He's like, it's gonna kill your fitness. He's like, how many push-ups can you do right now? I was like, I don't know what push-ups have to do with fitness, but I was like, I don't know, like 35? He's like, okay, you do, what did I say? No, I was stupid. I got all cocky and I was like, oh, I can do like 50 push-ups. Anyways, he said, all right, if you do 50 push-ups right now, we'll let you go. Should mention, like, I'm pretty skinny already, but if it's easy for you guys to tell, I was even skinnier at this time. So 50 push-ups was very far-fetched, even hiked up on adrenaline the way that I was. So I got to like 35, I think, and then I flopped. And then they asked me to go to the supervisor and plead to him why I shouldn't get arrested. Finally, at the end, they were like, look, we're going to confiscate everything. We're going to let you go, but every single one of you has a red flag on your name. So if your name ever comes across our desk again, we're going to know that we let you go. So I wish I could tell you right now that I learned my lesson after that. I really wish I could. But no, I went home that night. No, I went home that night. We had to walk because, you know, the end driver could only take one person. The cops made sure of that. So we walked from Happy Day Store all the way to Pottery Road. I got home at like 5:30 in the morning and got a couple hours of sleep. Later that day, I went to work and then I got home, smoked weed that night too, so clearly I didn't learn my lesson. And I was in a really big blame phase. Like I look back at the situation and I wasn't like, oh man, I got lucky. It was, man, those cops were assholes. Why'd they make me do all that stuff? They knew they weren't gonna arrest me. I thought that they were the ones who were the idiots, and they were like, oh, they're just idiots, like messing with a kid. I didn't do anything wrong. And I went on my merry way, kept partying, kept doing stupid shit. A few months later, we finally settled down in our own place. 2 months. So we settled in November 2014, January 2015, right before my 17th birthday. Decided to go to, I had my L at this point. Decided to drive my friend and I with my L to Walmart so we can get some stuff for a party that I'm going to be having for my birthday party. And, you know, the usual beer pong cups, ping pong balls, condoms, you know, gum, yeah, all kinds of stuff. I didn't want to pay for all this stuff though. Like, who wants to pay for this? Especially when you're hanging out with guys that are just shoplifting stuff so easily. Who wants to pay for that? Nobody wants to pay for that. So we stuffed the condoms in my hoodie, put the ping pong balls down my pants, but I don't want to be too suspicious, so we're gonna pay for the beer pong cups. Don't want to be too suspicious. I can drop the $5 on that. Thought I was so clever. Going through the till, everything's okay, we're walking back, we're all right, we're gonna fucking waste it tonight, we're gonna get hammered, it's gonna be so sick. We're gonna party, we're gonna have a good time. The moment we walk out the second revolving door, we're right about to walk out the second revolving doors, and I feel a hand on my shoulder, and the guy says, excuse me, sir, you're under arrest for shoplifting. It was a secret shopper that saw me do everything, basically. Nah, damn it.
That's what you get.
So, stomach tightens, heart drops, all the blood drains from my head. Just like, oh my goodness. So, I walk with him, he asked me to go to the back, he's like, alright, good news. Because you didn't run away, I'm probably not going to press charges. But I still need to call the RCMP because you're underage. Oh great. Remember what I am? I'm red flagged. If that supervisor sees my name across his desk again, he's not going to be happy. So, sit down, yeah, what else do you do at that point? You call your mom, because you need somebody to pick you up. Yeah, she wasn't so happy about that. Yeah, so cop came in, you know, at this point I'm in tears, my buddy's freaking out too. And yeah, they basically more or less like kind of book us. The cop just comes in. I thought I was gonna get like booked or something like that, but they didn't book me, they just needed to escort me out and the RCP needed to get involved. It's just protocol. So we're walking through the store and it's one of those things. I mean, Walmart's packed, you guys know, and I'm walking through with an RCMP officer. People know what happened, and that was, as I'm walking, the RCP officer asked, this was the kind of the moment where it all kind of shifted for me. She was talking to me, she's like, so what's your deal? I was like, well, you know, I'm working, I'm trying to help my mom like pay rent and stuff like that, I'm doing my best to stay alive, more or less, not be homeless. And she's like, and what the hell are you doing stealing stuff? It's like, do you realize how much this can actually change your life? It's like, you won't be able to travel anymore with a criminal record, you won't be able to get a proper job, your life's gonna be over for good. And she's like, you got a mom to look after. It's like, you're the man of the house now. You can't be doing stupid shit like this. Like, basically, you need to get your shit together. And if I could remember that cop's name, I'd be super happy because I would walk up to that precinct right now and I would say, thank you. Thank you so much. Because that was the moment where I stopped and I was like, yeah, I am the man of the house. I've got all the decisions basically now. These are my choices from here on. I have control of my life. Everything that I do is my fault, good or bad. So I decided to get my shit together. I'm not going to tell you that not friends with those guys anymore. I just stopped hanging out with them as much. Maybe once a week, twice a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever. Just dwindled down a little bit less than every night, every weekend, barely going home. I just put my head down and I was like, what do I really want? I need to get my shit together. So I went to in my mom's footsteps, who's a holistic practitioner. I went to work, I went to apply at holistic nutrition school. And what I didn't know was not graduating high school would hold me back so much. So they had two options. You could either apply as an adult student if you were 19, I was 17, or you show them your high school diploma and you can apply that way. I had neither. So I had to meet with the branch manager and try to let them make an exception. Lucky for me, the branch manager liked me, spoke the truth. I told her the honest deal. No, I don't have a, why did you leave high school? This is why. If you give me an opportunity, I'll prove to you I'll be top of this class and I'll prove to you that it'll be worth the decision. So she went to bat for me with the BC Ministry of Education and the head office at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. And I was admitted as the youngest student at that time in history of Canada, youngest adult student. So now I had something to prove as well. So I had to make up for my word of, you know, I'm gonna be top of this class, I'm gonna do well in this class. So I started, basically, I just put my head down after that. 2015, I put my head down and I worked. I worked in, you know, I studied, I went to work, barely partied anymore. My friends were always asking me, what are you up to? Basically, my only leisure time was I had a soccer game once a week, on Wednesday night. Other than that, I was studying or I was working. And I made that decision because I knew where I wanted to be, and I knew that the footsteps that I was traveling in before were not going to take me to where I wanted to be. I didn't know. I wish I could tell you, like, oh, I knew what I wanted, exactly what I wanted. No, I didn't. I just knew I wanted to be well off. I don't want to have to blame anybody. I just wanted to, you know, be able to be on my own and well off on my own, have control of my life. So I started learning a little bit more about money, finance. Well, that's one thing I suggest to everybody in this room, whether you love money or hate money. I hated money. I thought it was the devil. I thought it was the root of all evil. In the wrong hands, it can be, but financial education is something that everybody should be taught in school, in my opinion. But if you're not being taught in school, which clearly we're not, it's something you gotta learn on your own, because it's super important. It can be a tool for destruction, it can be a tool for success. But one way or another, you're not gonna live in a world without money, so you're gonna need to know how to deal with it. So that was one of the things I just started learning. I started learning about money, finances. Started learning the difference between an asset and a liability. Assets put money into your pocket, liabilities take money out of your pocket. Started to learn what an income and expense statement looks like, and I broke down my own. This is how much money I have coming in, this is how much money is going out. What's left? Is there anything left? Now, do I take that money and buy, you know, liabilities, stuff that's going to depreciate, stuff that, yeah, I might enjoy now, but it's not actually going to benefit? Or do I buy assets, things that are going to start making money? Or do I just save it so that I have enough to go buy assets? Anyways, that's a whole money talk. You guys have more questions, we can get to that at the end. But basically, I started getting educated more on financial education, learn more about it. And in 2016, so fast forward a little bit, 2016, I started going to more seminars, Toronto, Calgary, based on real estate as an asset, so buying up properties and stuff like that. I wanted to learn how to be an investor. And I met a guy in Calgary. We started our first business. We were super hyped. We thought it was going to be super lucrative. We thought we were going to be millionaires in a year. That didn't happen. I ended up losing money every single month. For some reason, the deals just weren't coming in. Did I learn a lot of valuable lessons from that? Absolutely. I was on the phone with over 400 sellers hearing their problems, and you know, that was pretty intense too, because this was during 2016. I don't know if you guys know this, but Alberta went through a recession in 2016. A lot of people lost their jobs up there. A lot of people were over indexed. Basically, they had too much debt. And when the market crashes like that, you're underwater. You owe more than your properties are worth. Everything that you own is worth. So hearing those people's situation was really crazy. To hear somebody that owes $270,000 on their mortgage, but their house is only worth $240,000, it's not fun. But like I said, I learned a lot. No, we didn't make any money. And when that business finally folded, I went through something that probably, if you haven't gone through it yourself, you know somebody that has gone through it. I went through heavy anxiety and depression. Heavy. Like I'm talking, couldn't sleep. Even at some moments contemplated suicide because I couldn't deal with the thoughts that were going on in my head. Thought it might be easier. The thing that got me out of it, I went through this for a little over a month. And it was hard on my coworkers, my family, everybody, because they don't know how to help. How can they? They're not in your head. I mean, panic attacks, all kinds of stuff. It wasn't easy, like I said. So what got me through it? This might work for you guys. I know it's worked for a lot of people, it worked for myself. I shouldn't tell you it was like, oh, I read this one book. No, just broke things down and started to become practical. I started using something that I didn't think would work, but it did. Patience. Realizing that the root of my anxiety and my depression was actually, I was trying to please other people. There was too much expectations from society and my parents. I was afraid of letting other people down. I was afraid of failing in front of other people. Why? I'm young. I was 18. I got time. Why do I need to worry about all that stuff? I can do nothing right for the next 7 years, wake up and be 25 years old. Life is long. Life is long. There's no reason to be impatient, but we're in a society that expects so much of us. Our parents, the people around us, we're afraid of being judged. I know because I felt it too. But again, why? There's lots of time. People, you see a finished product of somebody and you see where they are now. You don't see all the shit that they went through. You don't see where they were before that. You see me now. I'm a 20-year-old with a restaurant. But if I didn't tell you everything that just happened to me, you wouldn't know that. Patience. It's huge. Got me out of it. Really did. Because I realized that, might suck what's happening right now, might suck what happened in the past. I got my whole life ahead of me. There's lots of time. No, and that doesn't mean slack off, and because life's going to be long, it's okay. But it does mean that it gives you that little glimpse of hope that it'll all work out, baby. It'll all be okay eventually because I got time. So that's what got me out of it. And basically, that was in 2016. A few months later, I had this crazy idea to buy a sprouted fig. My mom's dream. Mom told me about it when I was 13. She took me in there for the first time. And I was pretty confident. I told you I was the most confident kid ever. I thought I was the best kid ever. So she took me in there. She's like, I don't know how, but if this ever goes on sale, David, this place, I'd like to own it. So okay, I'll buy it for you. She laughed. 13-year-old said she was going to buy it for her. So I was like, January 2017, just turned 19. I wonder if the sprouted fig is still for sale. Take a look, find an ad, call the realtor. Yeah, it's for sale, so I'll contact the owners. Met with the owners. Like, oh, do you want to bring your realtor to the meeting? I was like, shit, I don't have a realtor. My landlord at the time was a realtor, so I knocked on her door. Hey, this is my crazy idea. I'm going to buy this sprouted fig. You want to come to the meeting with me? Yeah, sure, let's do it. So we get there, talking to the seller, we hear a little bit of information. She tells me the same. Okay, are you ready to do your due diligence? What was that word? What did you just say? Due diligence. It's what you do when you're about to buy something. You look and make sure everything's okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. She's like, okay, this is what you need to look for. Income, expense, cash flow statements, all kinds of other crap. She gave me a giant list. I was like, this is overwhelming. All right, don't worry. Step by step. I got time. Patience. One step at a time. I don't know what any of these words on these pieces of papers are. How am I supposed to analyze stuff that I don't know what it is? Do I know somebody that knows how to analyze this? No. Do I know somebody that might know somebody that knows how to analyze this? Yes. All right, let's start there. So I talked to a guy, and he helped me a lot. Rob Short's his name from Community Futures. Helped me analyze all these documents. And yeah, it ended up being pretty good. I started going through the due diligence. It started to make sense. I started to put together projections. My point in all this, though, is process. process was still important. Process was important when I got the job at Nature's Fair. I knew I wanted to get the job, but I didn't know I had to bring in a resume and do follow-ups. Same with the natural nutrition school. I knew I wanted to go to that school, just didn't know all the steps in between and how I had to interview and provide proof and all those little steps in between. I knew I wanted to buy the sprouted fig, just didn't know all the steps in between. And that's okay sometimes. All you gotta do is figure out where you want to be, and then you can just work backwards from there. So work all the way back down to the first step that I could do. And I did that. 8 months later, I got the keys. So that's where I am right now. That was in August. We're 9 months later now. Sprouted Fig is one of the top restaurants in town. We've got 7 employees. Sales are up over 50% almost. I surpassed the previous owner's 2016 sales within 7 months of business operation. I had a plan not only to get to the business and get the business, I had a plan what was I going to do when I got the keys, because I didn't want to get handed the keys and be like, hey, what do I do now? Second part of my planning was, okay, once I get there, where do I want to be after I get there? And I've got lots of goals from here. I'm going to open multiple locations. But my point is that I'm always working towards the next thing, but then I work backwards to where I am now and what I can do from here. So that's more or less my story. I think I touched on everything that I kind of wanted to touch on. The other thing I'll go over some of the topics. I did write them down before we get into Q&A. But yeah, so I talked about process. One of the things that fascinates me from the beginning of my chat, I did say look, I had a good life in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it got really hard. High school was a tough decision leaving there. It was easy. I thought that school was going to be the hard part, but the hard part is real life. That stuff's easy. School is easy. It's all organized and in a box for you. Once you get out, that's when, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that. But I'm super fascinated by the game of opportunity. Why is somebody born up on the foothills with $1 million in a trust fund before they even pop out into this world? And why is somebody else born with 2 abusive parents? Maybe one kills the other. Maybe they're abusive to the child. Maybe their parents have drug problems. Maybe they're homeless at a young age because their parents couldn't look after them. Fascinated by the game of opportunity, I really am. Why does that happen to some people and why does that happen to others? You can't control that. What you can control is what you do. I always use the poker reference. For example, if you get dealt pocket aces and I get dealt a 2 and a 7, you've got the best hand out the go. But it's about how I play this hand now. I can play a 2 and a 7 like it's 3 aces, and then the world is mine. The game is mine. So basically what I'm trying to get at with that is I can't control, and none of us can control who's born with what. What we can control is what happens to you after that happens. What we can control is, are you making excuses? Are you complaining? Because excuses and complaining is the same thing. I was making excuses for why I got pulled over, why those cops messed with me. It's the same as complaining. Complaining is a tough place to be in. Because I got news for everybody here. Nobody cares. What I haven't figured out how to do is how to get the universe to care. You can complain all you want, but you're complaining to emptiness. It's only holding you back. I haven't been able to figure out how to get anybody to care about that. So, like I said, I was blessed with a mom who instilled a lot of confidence in me, a lot of self-esteem. Self-esteem is so crucial. Confidence is so crucial. And if you're in a tough spot where you don't have it, the best way to start is self-awareness. You can lie to other people, but you can't lie to yourself about who you are. I'm 5'9". I can almost wrap my whole hand around my bicep. I'm not going to play in the NBA. I'm not gonna be a professional basketball player. I figure out what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. Own what you're not good at. It's your shortcomings. And I'm way more bullish on going all in on what you're actually good at, what you actually like doing, because that's what's gonna get you further. Doing what you actually are good at. Self-awareness is crucial. Because how much better are you gonna feel if you're passionate about art and you're doing art and you're good at art than if you were, for example, to be forced into doing math. You suck at math. Why should you do math? You shouldn't, in my opinion. Yeah, you might. I honestly feel that you're born with some sort of talents. And you gotta go all in on those talents. They say one of the saddest places in the world is the graveyard. Not because of all the dead people. It's part of it, I mean. But it's because that's where all the unwritten books, unsung songs, unmade movies, uncreated art lies from people that decided to play it safe. Do things that maybe they weren't so good at because that's what society wanted. Because I can tell you right now, we live in the best era to be alive. The best time to be alive right now. If you have this, how many of you guys have a cell phone? If you have this, there's no complaints, honestly. This is the tool of our society. You can do anything on this device. There's never been a time in our society where you can make money literally doing anything. I could open up a social media account, start making content about fucking doorknobs, and get the biggest doorknob makers to sponsor me. Because I create good content that people watch about doorknobs. Can I be a millionaire? Maybe not. But I love doorknobs. And I can make the content for doorknobs. And I strongly believe that you can make a good living and have a happy life making content or just living the life that you want, going all in on what you enjoy. I'm not gonna shortchange everything that's happened. I don't know your stories. I don't know the tough times that you've been through. A lot of you guys probably have gone through tougher shit than I have. Yeah, I mean, I almost got arrested twice, but I didn't. I don't have a criminal record. But I'm not gonna shortchange what's happened. All I can tell you is, like I said, it's gonna be really hard to get the universe to care and to take it easier on you. And honestly, whether you guys see it or not, if you've gone through tough times, if you're going through tough times, you have the advantage. You have the advantage. I don't care what you think about Johnny Sims up top with his Lamborghini or whatever. 17 years old. He's soft. He's soft. It's gonna be soft. Yeah, some of them make it, but when you're handed everything, I know, believe me, because I was there. I've lived both sides. I had it all basically provided and given to me. If I continued down that path, I would have been soft. If I didn't go through the shit that I went through, I would not be where I am here. I am super, super thankful for the past 4 years of my life that have beat me into shape. So, like I said, whether you guys believe it or not, you have the advantage. You really do. Go over the final things here, then we'll get straight into questions. That's pretty much it. All right, how many people like to give and want to help other people as much as possible? More than themselves. Okay. I like that too. I wanted to help people. You know, that's a very common thing with millennials. Very common thing with millennials is, or younger people in general, is I want to help other people. It's good. There's nothing wrong with that. My biggest thing is you can't help somebody else until you're good yourself. I always believe in you need to be selfish before you can be selfless, before you can give to other people. And selfish doesn't have to be a bad word. Selfish doesn't have to mean I'm going to get to the top and I'm going to do good for myself by, hurting other people or putting other people down. It doesn't mean that. It just means something as simple as looking after your own happiness first. Because your own happiness is important. So, those are the main things that I wanted to just talk about. I mean, gratitude is another big one that's super important to me. Try to wake up every single morning and feel grateful. I don't mean like, you might believe in this, like the spiritual, oh, I'm so grateful for this leaf, I'm so grateful for this mic stand, I love this mic so much, I'm so grateful for it. If that works for you, then it works for you. That doesn't work for me. What works for me is, it can be worse. It can be a lot worse. Something shitty happens, I'd be like, well, I'll look back at my situation back when I was couch surfing with friends. Oh, why can't I have my own place? This sucks. Well, at least I'm not on the street. At least I have a couch to sleep on. Some people aren't so fortunate. That's why I don't like complaining at all, and I try not to complain myself as much as possible, because I just don't feel I have a right against other people that have it worse than me. What the fuck do I have to complain about? Seriously. You know who can complain? If there was a world table, like we ranked every 7.3 billion people or however many people are on the planet, and we ranked them 1 to 7.3 billion. Number 7.3 billion. If that was like Shannon, and she's in like a cave in Iran, and like hasn't seen the light of day her whole life, Shannon can complain. Shannon can complain. Everybody above her can't complain. That's the way I see it. What do you have to complain about? Somebody's got it way worse than you. Somebody's always got it worse than you. The fact that we live in Canada even, we've got it better than over 75% of the world population. Just because you live here. I could get my parents to come and tell you, my grandparents to come tell you what it was like to live in communist Romania. I'll tell you, it's a lot better now. They trade places with you every single day. Every single day. So, yeah, gratitude, like I said, simple as somebody's always got it worse. Somebody's always got it worse. Cool. Well, thank you. So hopefully, my main goal was, like I said, to provide value. Went a little longer, I guess, than I wanted to, but I do need to create some context for myself before we ask questions. My main thing is, if I can inspire at least one person here, I'll be happy. Change even one thing to make a world of difference.
So you can do this two different ways, really. If there's questions that you'd rather not say out loud, you can write them on paper, so we can put them in the suggestion box thing that we always use. Or you can just, if you want to just ask them, you can just ask them. But
and seriously,
all the
like,
papers all over the place, and you guys can just do your thing. And if you want to just ask questions, just go for it.
let's go, honestly, let's go rogue with this. Like, you guys want to know more details about, some of the stuff that I went through? Like, you guys want to know more details about my life? By all means. You want to know what it was like, what I felt? You guys won't have any questions about, what you want to do, what you think, maybe stuff that you're going through right now? See what I can do to help. So, I had a feeling this would happen.
This is
what Canada's like.
May I hire you to be my financial consultant?
No, you don't want me to be your financial consultant. I can refer you somebody to be your financial consultant, but you don't want me to be your financial consultant.
What's the weirdest online course you took?
I took this one on cryptography because I thought I would know what it is. But I had no idea to this day what I took. Ended up getting 78% in that course just from guessing all the answers on the test. I had no idea what I was. Anyways, cryptography is on one scale, it's locks, passwords on your computer. So your Wi-Fi password, that's a cryptographic equation. It's a password. But it's also, cryptography is also a lock and key. It's just it's privacy and storage of information, locking shit down. So that was the weirdest course I took. It's pretty strange.
What is the most uncomfortable thing that you've had to do in order to get where you are?
That's a really good question. Really good question. I want to do it justice too. Most uncomfortable thing I've had to do.
Yeah.
It's weird. So I don't get uncomfortable very easily. Honestly, probably like the most uncomfortable thing, as much as I say like I love people and I love being out there, it's really hard to put myself out there on like social media and like have the presence that I have now. So like putting out videos and stuff like that, like telling people to come in and buy sandwiches, or I'm giving stuff away for free. Just took a lot of takes in the beginning.
And that's because he's afraid that the cops will recognize him.
No, honestly, like, it's just a little bit fear of being judged, I guess, to a point. But yeah, yeah.
Where's your business?
Downtown Vernon, across from Nature's Fair, 30th Avenue. Kiki Gardens, the Chinese food place, literally right next door.
It's so good. Oh, I love Chinese.
Chinese food place.
No, I'm obsessed. Yeah, every time I see you, you will say Chinese food. Yeah, like I had Chinese food today. I don't know.
Honestly, another uncomfortable thing there, what's your name?
Joshua.
Joshua. Another uncomfortable thing, I know it's probably going to be like super boring, but another uncomfortable thing was just overall like going through all the like projections and analyzing stuff. Like the actual due diligence that it takes to like do anything, and the actual hard work. That's another thing I didn't get to touch on, but like hard work is the ultimate variable. Like sitting right here, like Joshua, you could be a much more talented business person than me, for example. Like deep down, no, but like bear with me. You could have more hidden talent in you as a business person than me. But if I work 15 hours a day and you only work 4 hours a day, guess who's probably going to come out on top?
I think I could be a business person. I mean, listen. I said no. Well, yeah, but that would be my luck. Yes. But like I sold enough muffins to go to Mexico or go to Disneyland. Like going door to door selling muffins. I ended up going to Disneyland and having $400 spending money.
Respect.
That's amazing.
I like this guy.
Let us know when you want to go again and we'll give you muffins.
Yeah,
So you can sell them again.
I'll give you really good margins too.
Yeah, and you know those muffins you can get them at Walmart in packs for like 6 or whatever that are this big?
No man, screw Walmart. You're coming to the Sprouted Fig.
Yeah, just go to
can
Walmart,
sell
buy
them
a
for
bunch
more.
of those, and then just go door to door and sell them.
Ours, we'll make ours look gourmet, so people don't even know they're from Walmart. They're like, oh my god, did you make these? And we'll be like, hell yeah. Baker's dozen, man. What do you mean? No, but my point is like with that is like hard work is a variable of success, and hard work is uncomfortable. Hard work was extremely uncomfortable, especially coming from a place where everything was easy. But it's a lot easier to do hard work when it's stuff that you enjoy than stuff that you hate. So yeah, hard work is extremely uncomfortable, and I'll tell you that right now. That's to answer your question. We're finally there. Hard work was the most uncomfortable thing I had to do to get where I am. I know that's a lame answer, but it's true. There's not an easy fix like, ooh, you know, I read this 5-step program and boom, I had the Sprouted Fig. No, I worked my fucking ass off. I worked 8 hours in Nature's Fair. I started at 5 a.m. I got off at 1:30, and then went home, had a nap if I needed to. Got up at 2 or 2:30. I worked till 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Got up, did it all over again. Worked 15, 16-hour days. That's how I did it for 7-8 months straight. And now, wish I could say like got easier after I got the Fig. No, now I still work 12-hour days at least. But at least I'm working for something that I enjoy. I'm not at the mercy of any one person or company. So yeah, hard work is the most uncomfortable thing. Did you have another question?
I'm thinking about it.
No, you had a question that I was, sorry, I do this all the time. You had a question that I was answering, and then I answered Joshua's question.
Oh no, yeah.
Again. I did answer your question? Okay.
Jackie, how long do we have this
I have a
Q&A
question
going?
actually.
Do you want 6:15? So hold on a minute.
Did people ever make fun of you?
Oh yeah.
That's normal.
I was just wondering because a lot of people make fun of me, so.
You know what? I started like it used to affect me a lot. I started to feel bad for people that were making fun of me because it just means that they're broken inside. You know that cliche thing that's always said like, oh, people are insecure, that's why they make fun of you? It's true, unfortunately. They're broken inside. All you can do is be empathetic because it's like, you know, why do you feel so bad? What's going on in your life? Something so bad or that you perceive as so bad that you feel the need to put others down.
Because when I was younger, I had a speech development, so I couldn't even speak at all, and my typing is still not that good. And when every time I go to school, I try speaking, everybody just makes fun of me and tell me I'm like a loser and everything. So that's why I hate it.
You know, at a younger age too, people don't have a lot of empathy. They don't understand other people's situations. They don't know what you went through. They just hear the troubled speech and they jump to conclusions. And unfortunately, I'll get straight to the point. They feel the need to feel liked and to feel popular. And by making fun of somebody else, they're going to get a laugh out of somebody. And that laugh is going to make them feel good about themselves for a split second until they find the next thing to make fun of, so that they can get another laugh, so they can feed their own emotional desire, because I don't know what it is. Maybe their mom didn't tell them they love them enough.
Right.
Something inside of them doesn't feel confident, or maybe that's where their uncomfortableness is coming from. But yeah, did I have people? To be honest, I never really messed with a lot of people, so I didn't really get made fun of in elementary school or high school or anything. Where I got made fun of was after I left high school. People once you start to do something different, people make fun of you for it. But once you are different, if you do anything different, or if you're in any way different from the societal norm, people start to make fun of you for it. So yeah, I dealt with some of that. But works itself out as we end it.
I just got myself a job at Valley Village, so I
You're
actually
working hard. That's important.
9:30 to 4:30, 5-hour shift, and then I'm planning to get 2 days a week at 22, so I need to be quite busy for a while.
And that's what you want to do.
I do.
And then, honestly, heck, I look at lots of people and it's I see the lawyer that works 12 hours a day, doesn't really love his life, but he makes $250,000 a year. Then I see, the guy who works minimum wage, makes $25,000 a year, he's on 5 soccer teams. Well, maybe not $25,000 a year, works in landscaping, let's give a different example. Makes $35,000 to $40,000 a year, he's on 5 soccer teams. He's happy as hell. As long as you're happy, it doesn't really matter, and that's the kind of stuff that plays itself out. If anybody ever messed with me, I knew where I was gonna be. I knew that I wanted to do bigger, greater things. So my answer, if I ever got messed with, was always okay. I'm glad that you peaked in high school. I'm glad that these are gonna be the best years of your life. But I got a story for you. Life is long. When you hit your peak, it's only downhill from there. So, I don't know, honestly, I wouldn't worry about it. Just, like I said, selfish before you can be selfless. Worry about making yourself happy, and just understand that people aren't empathetic when they're making fun of you. They don't understand where you're coming from.
It's even harder for me because a lot of it I don't understand. I don't want to say it very good, but I have a bit of a disability, and I'm maybe a 5 or 6 year old, so a lot of I don't understand, and it just makes me sometimes want to explode. So
Totally. I definitely I went to school with people that went through tough times as well, had disabilities, and I definitely admire you for sharing that. That's super important. And the big thing is, like I said, going back to it, the stuff that you suck at, that you're not good at, but you also know the stuff that you're good at.
right.
So go all in, do more of that, because that's where you're going to shine the most, that's where you're going to find the most success, and that's where people are going to eventually get value from what you do.
Thanks for that advice.
You're welcome.
Do you feel that the way that you felt about yourself growing up when you were younger, going into grade 8, I don't know, you can almost call it cockiness. Do you think that was one of the encouraging factors that kind of helped you allow yourself to drop out of school?
Oh, 100%. If I didn't have at least a supportive mom, I probably wouldn't have made that choice. But most definitely, that's a huge thing. Even understand, even with the self-confidence that I had from my mom, the difficulty of that decision and how much I struggled with it for the years after it, 2-3 years after I dropped out until I actually started to do something with it, and I started to see an end game. You gotta understand, because when we're young, we want everything now and fast. We want to grow up fast. We want to have a good job fast. We don't realize that stuff takes time. So for me, I wanted to drop out of high school and then reap the rewards right away, think, oh, it's going to pay off right away. But it didn't. It was hard. I struggled with that all the time. I struggled with that for so long. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, having the confidence and at least one supportive parent made a huge difference. Huge. Yeah.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. The first one is like owning a business at your age is like amazing, but there's probably still like anxieties and stress with that. So how do you deal with something like that?
So I don't suggest owning a business for everybody. If you know that you're a business person, like Joshua, then that's what you should do, and you should give it a go and see if it's actually going to be worth it for you. For me, yes, I go through a lot of stress. I'm going to be straight up with you. Owning a business is not easy because you're the last line of command. My day is literally putting out metaphorical fires. I deal with shit all day long. Some people might not think that's fun. For me, you never get rid of stress. Stress is always going to be there. You just find ways to manage it. I sleep so easily every single night. I sleep very easily because I've learned to love the stress. The stress is a part of the process for me, and I love the process of what I'm going through. That's why I can be patient, because I love the process. I'm not going for an end goal. Yeah, I am in the long term, but I'm enjoying the process as of right now. So yeah, do I deal with stress? Absolutely. How do I deal with it? Because I'm doing what I actually want to do and what I love doing and what I'm actually good at. And yeah, it's hard. I mean, if anything goes wrong, when I was at Nature's Fair, if anything went wrong, it was like, okay, it's his fault, or he has to deal with it, the manager that's above me. Now I get employees that bring me problems. They're like, David, this is going wrong, what do we do? And I'm like, uh-oh. That's me. I need to make that choice. So, no, it's not easy, it's not for everybody, but it's what I feel I was born to do and what I want to do. So, like I said, once you find it, the stress plays a very small portion of it. And like I said, it's never going to go away, you just find a way to manage it.
And then the second question is, I guess it would probably relate the most to with your decision with high school. But how do you come to that decision when you kind of have 2 different routes you could take? How do you know which one is the proper one?
I wish I could tell you. Intuition, my gut. It was, like I said, it was one of the hardest. Honestly, put yourself in my shoes if you can. I was a straight A student throughout elementary school and for my first year of grade 8. The only negative I got on my report card was that I was too disruptive and talked too much. I could have gone through high school, graduated, and then gone to university with scholarships because I was playing soccer. My plan in grade 7 and grade 8, this is my plan, straight up. I have no problem telling you. This is my plan. Okay, I'm gonna play competitive soccer. I'm gonna take all the high school courses that I need so that I can get into a diplomat program at University of SFU in Burnaby. I'm gonna get a sports scholarship, so I'm gonna get a soccer scholarship, and I'm gonna get an academic scholarship. Then, I'm gonna be a diplomat and travel the world, be an ambassador for country of Canada. That was my plan. I don't know what drove me away from it. I just, on some level, I felt like I could get further. For the 4 years that I would have been in high school, I felt like I could get further studying on my own. Something inside. And something just clicked all of a sudden. It was a huge leap of faith.
Can I say something in regards to her question?
Yep.
So when you find yourself with 2 choices and you don't know which one is the right choice, go with one of them anyway and see how easy the things come to you. If you feel like you're swimming upstream, that means that that's not the right choice. So you can always stop right there and take the other approach. It's always whatever comes very hard against nature, not working hard, but very hard against nature. You work and you work and you work, and yet the result is not there. Then you know that that's not your path.
And it's still good, even the other path, it's still gonna be hard work, but you'll find that the pieces will come together. You'll have little micro successes, small successes throughout the process. Yeah, the big picture might be hard for you to get where you want to go, but on a small scale, you're gonna have little successes. The sprouted fig was hard for me to acquire, but I had little successes that were telling me that I was on the right track. Things were working out piece by piece. I didn't feel like I was swimming upstream, right? So that's, yeah, but on some level, you really gotta go with that gut instinct. Whatever you feel is right. There is a certain sixth sense. Nobody can explain it, but it's there. Sometimes when you feel it's right, you gotta go for it.
And if you see it as a mistake, if it feels like a mistake, don't see it as a mistake. Never ever see it as a mistake. See it as a lesson. Okay, I learned something from this, I move on. And I can make the next mistake because I will learn something else. We personally, both of us, we embrace mistakes. We're looking for making mistakes because we know that that's when we grow and we become better people.
But let's be clear, small mistakes, like obviously like bankruptcy, going out of business, not a mistake I look forward to making. But I mean, if I mess up a catering or something like that, or if I make the wrong marketing choice and I lose some money, it's not a big deal. But yeah, no. And the important thing is not to judge yourself. Like, the world is already judging you so much. There's no point in you judging yourself so much. Realize when something's not working and be quick to move on. That's one of the biggest things, is spend so little time on the stuff that didn't work, the mistakes that you made, and move on to the next thing as fast as possible. Don't worry about it. That's your loss. That's your mistake. Own it. Own it and move on. Move on quickly.
No, I was just gonna quote Bob Ross and just say happy little accidents, not mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Happy little accidents.
Do you know how to identify a mistake compared to an accomplishment or whatever the intention is there? Like,
That's a good question. So most of the time, yes, but sometimes you don't know. Sometimes a mistake can actually be a blessing in disguise. So sometimes you might actually. Thank you. Have a good day. Sometimes what you thought was a mistake is actually going to be beneficial. But on the small scale, the most basic, how I do it is basically, did I lose money? Yes, it was a mistake. Did I make money? No, this was a good choice. Okay? Did that answer your question? Yeah.
how long are you
I'm going to be here until every last question is answered. Even if they kick us out and we have to do it outside. So, like I said, I want you guys to extract as much value as possible from this. So, seriously, anything. Thanks, Colin.
Bye, Colin. Thanks for coming.
Get my number from Jackie if you're serious about motorcycles, okay?
I will. Definitely will.
Thanks, boss.
Thank you.